Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ruin. So today we're going to do something a little different. We are going to explore the top 10 trap cards of Magic. So now, at number 10, we're going to start off with Entangling Trap. It's from Lauren series. It's uncommon, going for 19 cents on the market. It costs 2 mana. And well, believe it or not, it just says whenever you clash, tap target creature an opponent controls. If you won that, that creature doesn't untap. I'm not a big fan of this whole clash thing, so that's the reason why it's at number 10. So let's move on to number 9. And now we got is Needle Bite Trap. It's from Zendicar. It's an uncommon for 19 cents on the market. And well, I do just like the picture of this card, but it says if an opponent gain life this turn, you may pay swamp rather than pay its mana cost, which is 7. So target player loses 5 life and you gain 5 life. Well, if it's all about gaining life, this card is absolutely amazing. So let's move on to number 8. Well, we got another one from Zendikar. This one is Lava Ball Trap. It's a rare going for 14 cents on the market. And if an opponent has 2 or more lands under the battlefield under his or her control this turn, you may pay 5 rather than its mana cost, which is, well, guess what? 6 with 2 mounds? It's too expensive. But it says destroy 2 target lands and it deals 4 damage to each creature. That's actually very cool and powerful. If you can pull off the 5 mana for this card is very, very incredible. It does play that balance game. So let's move on to number 7. And we have one of those annoying cards, Ravenous Trap from various sets. It was started as uncommon and then rare, and with 19 cents with the average price. And as you can see in the picture, it started as Zendikar with the last 2. So if an opponent had 3 or more cards put into his graveyard from anywhere this turn, you may pay 0. Exile all cards from target player's graveyard. And that's really interesting because you can destroy all creatures in play and then exile all the cards. Definitely good combinations if you really want to somehow do that, whatever the combination you may want to do. So let's move on to number 6. And well, we have Stone Idol Trap, and it almost looks like it, but it is from Worldwake, not Zendikar. This one is a rare, going for 16 cents on the market, this average price. So this was actually very cheap, rare, but it costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature. So if you're doing 1/1s, this is actually kind of powerful. Put a 6/12 Colossus Construct with Trample on the battlefield. Exile at the beginning of your next end step. Trample, 6/12. Hard to compete with that. So let's move on to number 5. With that being said, we have Ricochet Trap from Worldwake as well. It's an uncommon going for 38 cents. Now, this instant trap says an opponent casts a blue spell this turn, you may pay 1 rather than the mana cost. Change the target of spell with a single target. Even for 4 mana, I think this is actually quite powerful, and that's the reason why it's at number 5. This is just like annoying. Oh, you don't destroy your creature. No, you don't. And for coming from a red source, I think this is actually quite powerful. So let's move on to number 4. And then we got Summoning Trap from Modern Masters 2017. And yes, that's right, Zendikar. It's a rare one for 27 cents. And this is kind of like hoping for the best because it does cost 6, which I think is very cool for this card. Because if a creature spell was turned counter this spell, you may pay 0 for this instant trap. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Not your hand, the battlefield. So I think this is actually quite powerful. And I'm actually surprised it's only worth 27 cents. I guess you're just hoping that something might be countered. So let's move on to number 3. And we're going to stick with the classic Booby Trap from various sets. It's a rare going for 72 cents on the market. It costs 6 mana. And back in the day in Tempest, this was actually kind of pretty powerful. When it comes to play, name a card other than basic land. Whenever target opponent draws any cards, he or she reveals those cards to all players. If any of those cards is the name card, sacrifice it, and it deals 10 damage to that player. Well, especially with Commander really available, this card is target opponent draw. So they can pick someone, play favoritism, and just kind of screws everyone over, showing all the cards. But let's move on to number 2. And guess what? We got Archive Trap from Zendikar or The List. It's a rare going for $14.98 on the time of this video. And well, because it's from Zendikar, this is actually a really good card. And well, target opponent puts the top 13 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. If you're playing a discard deck, this is the staple. You cannot have it without this card. It's just there because it says if an opponent searches his or her library and pays 0, it's an instant. and the chance of someone searching the library even for a land, this card is it. This is like, you can't beat that, except for this one other card. So let's move on to number 1. And oh look, another Zendicar card. This is Mindbreak Trap. Well, like I just said, Zendicar, it's a mythic going for 4741. So it is the most expensive card, I believe, from the set. Costs 4 mana or pay 0 if opponent casts 3 or more spells this turn. Exile any number of target spells. Wow. And that's about it. I'm not going to go more into detail about that. That's really good. Amazing. And it was fun to do the top 10 traps. So I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.